right, big day today because the new Luke Combs album is out. You know, people wait forever for your. I mean, here it is.
Yeah.
And do you go and I mean, who's telling you if people are loving it equally or more? And who do you trust?
Oh man, the fans for sure is who you listen to. I
But
think.
what they say, we like this one less.
Yes, some of my fans would for sure, 100% they would. Yeah, they'd be like, I can't believe this, or I think that's, I mean, that's the best stuff you can listen to. I mean, you can't let it, really drive your decision making or your songwriting, but it's good when people are honest with you about it, and you can get to a point where it's hard to feel like, it's like almost you get to this point where it's like, let's say I put this album out and it's out today and it's the best album I've ever put out, right? Let's say it is. And let's say whoever on my team, it doesn't matter if it's Cappy or whoever, they come up and they go, God, dude, this album's great. It's hard to be like, it is great. Because and not that I don't trust them, implicitly, because I do. But then you start to wonder, you're like, man, are they just like pulling my leg, like trying to make me feel good, kind of thing? Because what if it's not good, I don't know. I think I feel like that's the curse of being like a creative person is like your mind is like way too overactive, It's like the best thing about what we do and the worst thing about what we do. Because you're so prone to like second guessing yourself or like wondering if somebody's being real with you or not, it's just hard to like trust people's feedback sometimes, so I find that all you can do is just love, you have to just love the songs and just trust that you did, that you did your best, I think is the only thing that I put any stock in at this point.
I had a couple people in my life, and in my last book I wrote about how I only trust people to tell me I did good if they've told me I haven't done good.
Sure.
And it's a weird way to feel, but once you get to a certain point, everybody just starts to be nice to you.
Sure.
Even if it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that my wife will tell me exactly how she feels. And sometimes it cuts. When
it hurts. Yeah, because you think in your head, you're like, man, I want people to be honest with me. And then they are.
And you're like, that sucks. No more.
Never mind.
Yeah, no more
Tell
honesty.
me it's good.
Yes.
Tell me it's good. But then it's like you're doing yourself a disservice at that point. You know what I mean?
And so if you have somebody that tells you you suck, you can trust them to tell you that you don't.
100%.
So
100%.
any of these songs on this record, were they the ones that fell out and you wrote in like 15 minutes?
15 minutes probably.
Or so quick. You wrote it so much quicker because it was just there.
Going, Gone was pretty fast. That one was pretty fast. And probably Middle of Somewhere, that one went really fast too. But just fun. I mean, it's really like if it's just fun, it's easy to write, or if you have a really great, like Going, Gone had such a great riff, like a pronounced thing that we were writing to. I think that one was really great because you're not really worried about anything. You're just going. It's just like
you're just going.
You're just going.
I'm going to play a clip of that here. Here's Going, Gone from Luke Combs.
Like a left field home run ball.
No, we had it. That's good. We'll insert it in. But I didn't know we had it. Holy crap. All right.
Yeah.
What about on this record? Are there any songs that you wrote a long time ago that this project felt right?
Yeah. There's a song on there called Call Me that I wrote in 2000 and I guess probably 2017 maybe. I wrote that song. It was the first time I wrote with Shane Miner. Me and Jonathan Singleton wrote with Shane, and we wrote Cold As You. Shane wrote that as well. But that was the first song we wrote together was Call Me, and we were in the studio last session, last day, last hour, and it was like we were done with everything we had planned to do. And so I find honestly that some of the best songs that I've ever put out are songs that we didn't plan to even do, like they weren't even on the I don't know why I want to say dossier. That's the wrong word. It sounds very official.
I never use that in my vernacular, but I like it.
That's a packet of papers.
Okay.
Sure. That sounds very government though,
Like
right?
it.
Like a very
Yes.
like FBI type thing. But it wasn't on our a list of songs to cut, and we had an hour, and it's like, you're paying the studio guys to be in there and you're paying to rent the studio out. So I would rather use it than leave and get an extra hour at home, because it's not like we're in there every day. So I was just going through, thumbing through the phone, what's something that we can do. And some of my favorite songs that we've ever cut have ended up being songs that weren't even planned to be cut. And this is one of those songs. It just fell in this weird, sometimes a song gets lost to like timing, where it's like, okay, well, this thing's going to come out, and then maybe it's in that period of like a deluxe album. It's like you can only put like 4 or 5 songs on the deluxe. And so maybe this is a song, it's like, well, it didn't make sense to fit on that deluxe. And then by the time the next record came along, it was kind of like, well, I've written all these other songs, and then you kind of not forgot about it, but it just doesn't. It's like the new toy thing. It's like you just you don't even remember it's there until you find it in the bottom of the box, you know, and you're like, man, this thing's great. I forgot about this thing. So this is one of those.
The new album's out today. Growing Up. Here you go. 3 big questions, and then we're gonna let you go about your merry way because you have so much to do. By the way, great album. Here we go. Question number 1. Do you ever go back and hear an old song that you did and go, oh, what was I thinking? That is not a good song. I'm not even asking you to say the song because there are other songwriters involved, but do you ever listen back and go, oh, why did I even record that?
I don't think anything that's made it on an album I feel that way about.
It doesn't have to be album. It can be just something where you go back to an old...
Dude, definitely. 100%. All the time. Yeah, absolutely. Like all the time. Yeah.
But why... Would you if you say all the time, like how can you write a poor song at this point?
Oh, I don't know.
Didn't sleep well the night before?
I think it's just and you're always like the day you write it, you know this. It's like the day you write it, you're so excited about it because you're done with it. I never gauge a song by how I feel about it when I'm done writing it. It's the next day is the bar.
That's funny you do that because if I write something funny, I won't listen to it for a month. Because I can't, because I'm so associated with being in it, and then I lose it while I'm in it. Do you ever lose it while you're in it because you spent so much time inside of it?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't even know if this is good anymore.
Yeah, and I get like the next day for me is the thing. Like I always text the people. I'm like, hey, did you guys listen to that song? And then they'll be like, yeah.
Does anyone ever say it's not good? Does anyone ever say, hey, it's not that good, Luke?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, like we'll be like, man, and sometimes that's like we'll just go and rewrite that thing or change what we don't like about it so I think you have to be willing to do that too. You know, you have to be willing to, but you always have to I've always heard that you have to finish a song. Even if it's bad, even if you don't like it, the practice of getting it complete. You know, like if your job was cutting down trees and you got halfway through cutting the tree down, you would never know how to fell a tree because you had never done it before. You might be really good at chopping the tree halfway down, and then you don't know how to do the rest. So it's like all you songwriters out there, even if you're writing bad songs, you have to just finish them and then and move on.
Question 2 is if someone said, hey, man, here's $1 million. I need you to write me a radio hit. You have 30 minutes. Do you think you could do it? 30?
Yes.
Love it.
All right, hand my wallet.
Pay the man.
Yeah.
And what would you do? Would you chase just a big melody without a lot of like depth? And we're gonna go
so,
whoa, whoa, a lot of those.
I think if it was in that sense, in
And
a
that's
30-minute
exact
window,
sense. 30 minutes, $1 million. It's got to be a top 10 hit.
Melody's the thing.
And claps and
Melodies
crowd
and melodies, man. Singability, like something that people can sing back to, I think is the biggest thing with any hit, really.
Final question. You put out this album today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel as good or better about this album than the other albums that you've put out?
Interesting question, man. I feel different about this one in the sense of it came together over the last 2.5 or 3 years, and it was like all the recording sessions were so spread out and different. It was just a completely different process than the other two, just because of the circumstances of the world at the time that it was made and all the different sessions that we did. And then the tour came along, so that put the brakes on it. And I didn't do any work on it for the whole tour because I just couldn't think about it because it was like I wouldn't be able to focus on it. So I feel really great about it, but it's just completely different. And it's hard to even gauge it beside the other two because it was just so completely different.
The album's out today. In full transparency, we actually recorded this back in April before Luke's wife and Luke had a baby. Yep. So, and we can air all this even as I'm about to say as is, but I'm just going to say, hey, man, how's the baby? And give me a few responses.
Sure.
And then we'll highlight the one.
Whichever one happens.
Right. So how was it at the hospital?
Oh, it was great, man. Stressful.
Oh, yeah, stressful. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, give me a second answer in case it's not stressful at all.
Yeah. Oh, it was great, man. It was easy peasy.
Wow, good for. Oh, look at that, super easy.
Easy.
Okay, cool.
Easy. Yeah.
And how's it been back at the house with the baby?
It's good. It's been good. Not a lot of sleep.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Not a lot of sleep. There's also a possibility that we could not have a baby yet, by the way.
Okay. Well, that's
it's
okay.
that close.
Hey, Luke, where's the baby?
Who knows? Somewhere.
Okay, there we go. Look.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And then do and we're this is all playing for audience right here. Do one where you go, I've got tons of sleep. People are so wrong about how hard it is. All right, here we go. Here's Luke comes.
Man, I've been sleeping great. I don't know what everybody's talking about.
Okay, Luke Combs' album's out today. We obviously recorded this back in April, so just man, love it, love what you do,
Thank
love
you.
to see
Appreciate
you.
it.
It's just a big, honest conversation with you, and I can always appreciate that.
Well, likewise, man.
All right, there he is, Luke Combs. Go see him. Stream the music at Luke Combs on Instagram, and we'll be back.
It's about